Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Chris. I'm part of the product team here at InClarity. Just want to thank you for joining this webinar on the holiday management feature. Before we get started and we get everything underway, I just want to make sure everyone can see my screen properly. Upon your GoToWebinar application on your desktop, you'll see a little hand with an upward arrow. If everyone can just press that, if they can see my screen. Just have one or two people there. Yep. Okay. Right. That's a good sign. Everyone can see the screen. So let us begin. So what we aim to show you on this webinar is just a little bit about what the holiday management feature is and how you go about setting it up as well. So the holiday management feature has recently been introduced by InClarity, and it offers customers the ability to create holiday periods that exist alongside current open periods on the customer's call groups. The holiday management feature is currently available for certain call groups such as hunt groups, call center groups, and receptionist client groups. A iteration of this call management is already available on the premium call center. Users can maintain a list of different events for different purposes. In instances such as different departments may require different working hours, so multiple groups may need to be built and configured. And the feature is a fully managed feature where partners can create these on behalf of their customers. But if you do allow your customers access to SMT, they will have the permissions to create groups at customer level and be able to assign these call groups to site level as well. So now we'll just go through the required steps here and what you need to be what you would need to do before we will go on to a live demonstration of how to set up these groups. First of all, this is a two-step process. First and foremost, we would need to create a holiday event group. Now, a holiday event group is a group where you will input all of your holiday events for a prolonged time frame. So you could insert all of your public holidays, any company events. Once the group has been created, this will then be populated with such events. After we've populated our list of events, these can then be assigned to your call groups, such as hunt groups, call centers, and receptionist clients. And while we're doing those through the call groups, you can then choose a specified action. In this, you'll be able to send it to a voicemail. Now, the voicemail you will set it to is for that group's particular voicemail in general. If you wanted to divert it off to a specific a different voicemail, you can set this up as an alternative number using a 121 and then followed by the individual user's extension number here. If you did want to have a personalized message for the holiday, for that particular holiday, we always recommend that your customers go in and access the voicemail for that particular group and set that prior to any holidays taking place. The holiday management process is pretty straightforward, but I'll go through it anyway. And at the end of the session, I will be attaching a handout to this webinar, followed by taking any questions as well. So we'll go on to a live demonstration now. So what you would need to do is, first of all, we need to set up the holiday event group itself. To do this, we navigate to customer level on SMT. Click on the group ID of that particular customer. And on the left-hand side now, under Advanced Settings, you'll now see an option for holiday management. If we click on here, as you can see, I already have one in place, but for the purposes of this webinar, I'll create a new one. When creating a holiday event group, what you will first need to do is provide the event group a name. Referencing back to what I mentioned, where different departments may require different holiday instances due to different shift work, you can name this as you need to. So for this instance, I will use Customer Services Bank Holiday and click Save. Now you'll see that the holiday event group has been added successfully. The holiday event group, upon first being created, will be empty. So the next step you'll need to do is create holiday event groups. You'll notice here the holiday event button. If we click here, we are then able to give this particular holiday event a name. What we'll do, as it's Easter coming up, we will use that as an example, as the Easter bank holiday. We then go in to tell the event what date to start. So in this instance, we're going to choose the 19th of April. I'm not going to be taking any calls over the weekend as well, so I'd like my holiday event to stretch across the weekend. And I will then include the 22nd. By default, the holiday event group will be selected as an all-day event, but you may find that you will be open particular hours. Your days may be shorter, so you may just need to shorten the length. So to do that and create a customized time, we untick this box, and you can then tell the event when the customer will be in holiday mode. So for instance, we are going to be on holiday from 8:30 in the morning, and we're going to start our day at 11 o'clock. This will then tell the system that between the hours of 8:30 and 11 to follow the holiday event group settings that we will apply a little bit later on, and follow that particular action, and then continue to follow the open and close periods of that group. So this will be the time of the start date, time of the end date, and everything in between. So in this instance, on Friday the 19th, we will be closed at 8:30 and opening at 11. We will be on holiday, and those same rules will apply over the weekend. Now, if you wanted that on just a single day's event, you can change your end date to the same day, and this will apply only for that date. You can then create similar holiday events for the days between, so for example, the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd. What I will do is I will just create a couple of events now. So we have one where the holiday timer is 8:30 to 11. We will now just create another event. That will be an all-day event. And we will go for a Maybank holiday this time. And this one we will leave as an all-day event. And we add our holiday event group. That's our holiday event group now. There is no restrictions as to how many holiday events can be assigned to a holiday event group. So you can stretch out your holiday events for an entire year, or if you wanted to, you can follow that over to the next year as well. So now we've created our events and we've created our holiday event group. What we will need to do is we will then need to assign this to a particular call group. In this instance, we will assign this to a call group under our call center, or we won't. It will go under receptionist client. Now, the main thing you'll notice between since the launch of the holiday management feature is going into your Hunt Groups, call centers, and receptionist client. There will be a new tab available at the top of your group. Here is your open periods. To set your open periods, first thing you'll need to do is to make sure that we're active. We're activating the group. Then you make a decision as to what will happen during that holiday period. In this instance, I'm transferring all calls during that holiday period to my voicemail of the Hunt group, of the receptionist client group, apologies. Alternatively, I can transfer that to an alternative number. Here you would just type in the number of your choosing, and then we go down and we decide which holiday schedule you would like to choose. As I mentioned, in instances where different departments have got different shift patterns, you may find that public holidays may affect some of your groups, or you might choose a specific, for example, customer service bank holiday. You can only assign one holiday event group to a call group. So if you did have a customer service team and a provisioning team, you would only be able to assign them one particular group and not both. So here I've ticked all of my settings. I've made sure we're active. I'm going to be transferring to an alternative number, and I've chosen the holiday schedule of my choosing. I now click on the save option, and that will be created for you. If at any point you needed to adjust your holiday events within your holiday event group, this can be done on the fly. And again, it's just a matter of going back up to your customer level access here, going back into your holiday management on the left, and choosing which group you would like to edit. Please be advised you are able to delete holiday event groups, but if a holiday event group is associated to one of the call groups, you will not be able to delete it until it is deactivated from that particular call group. Editing a group and its events, click on the ID beside the holiday group you would like to change. And then from here, you can go into each of your events and adjust them accordingly. Through here as well, you're also able to delete particular events, but the holiday event group itself must have at least one entry. If there is only one entry within that group, it will not be able to be deleted. To edit an event, click on its ID, make the relevant changes, and click save. And any changes you make to your holiday events or holiday event groups will take place immediately. That's what we have at the moment for you for our holiday management process. As mentioned, I will send out a handout to you now through the webinar. But if you have any questions while I'm preparing this handout, please type them into the webinar function now, and we will answer those in just a moment. Okay, so I've had no questions at this time on the webinar, but if you do feel after the webinar you do have any questions or you require any further information. Oh, I apologize, someone's just asked a question now. Does holiday scheduling have priority over out of hours mode directions? Yes, so the holiday management will take precedence over any current out of hours periods that have been set on call groups. Any further questions? Go. Michael, you have a question? Please type that up and send that through and we'll answer that for you. Matt is asking, can this be applied for a single subscriber? Unfortunately, no. This feature is only available on the free call groups previously mentioned, which is the Hunt groups, the call centers, and the receptionist console. It may further development may happen within the future, and we will look at all feedback that we get from partners over the course of the feature being released. Is there a way to export certain holiday instances? Not at this time, no. But again, if there is further requirement for it, it is something that we can look at and look into further development. Okay, so I think who is this for, Michael? Michael, your follow-up was, for example, everyone is off for Christmas. Does this have to be inputted to all sites, or for us? It's 100 plus. So, in an instance like that, you'll create a schedule at your customer level, and once you've created that call group and input those events, that can then be set against individual call groups at site level. Just seeing if there are any other questions here. Right. Another follow-up question from Michael. So there's no way to implement platform-wide. Unfortunately not. It's on a per customer basis and being assigned per call group. Again, nothing is set in stone. So if we do get an abundance of feedback for a particular query of some sort, we can look into it and there may be further development work for that. Just as a reminder, once you add a holiday event once onto the system, you can just continually update that over a period. So if you did have this Christmas's settings and it's going to be replicated the year after, it's just a matter of changing the dates there itself. Just making sure I've not overlooked any questions here. Okay, so I can't see any other new questions come in, but if you did have any further questions following this webinar, you can contact us at presales@inclarity.co.uk. We're happy to take any questions there, or you can call us on 0207 952 1800. That's 0207 952 1800. Thank you for joining, guys, and I hope to see you on our next webinars.